Will absolute Superman break and kill them all? Kal-El's eyes widen in terror as he looks up and sees his parents dangling from energy beams above the Kryptonian Council chamber. The members of the Science League look down at them with eyes devoid of emotion. For the crime of ambition, we find the L's guilty. For the crime of dissent, we find the L's guilty. For the crime of illegal use of science, guilty. The League members drone. The energy beams shock the L's with each verdict. Stop! You're killing them! Kal shouts. Finally, the League sentences the L's to hang from the skies of Kandor for 100 years. With the verdict read, the members of the Science League turn their dispassionate gaze upon Kal. Now, as for your crimes, Kal-El of the Redlands, for the misdemeanor of being an orphan, the Science League hereby sentences you to 20 years confinement in the Phantom Zone Orphanage, the League declares. The guards move to grab the young boy, but his eyes begin to glow red with anger. To hell with you! Young Kal screams as red-hot energy beams begin to pulse through the chamber, ripping through the guards and turning them to ash. Screams of pain echo through Krypton. Meanwhile, back in the real world, Brainiac leans over the body of Kal-El with a sadistic grin. Kal is trapped, weakened by the synthesized kryptonite that Brainiac has created, while his machine places the young man in simulated worlds of trauma. Tell me you're making progress, Ra's al Ghul demands as he enters the chamber with his daughter. Oh, indeed. Superman has just mentally murdered the entire ruling class of his home planet for the 575th time in the last 6 hours. Once we reach 3,000, I believe he'll be ready to move to the Earth, Brainiac explains. Ra's nods in approval and looks at the young alien, reminding Brainiac that he doesn't want a lobotomized drone like these clones he's created. Yes, of course, the son of the demon shall arise, I assure you, Brainiac says with a bow. Talia glares at him as she steps forward, the father box held aloft in her hands. Fail the Lord of Lazarus, and I will feed your marrow to the father box, she warns. Brainiac's eyes widen as he takes a step back. Superman will be the wrath of the Al Ghul's made flesh, Lady Talia. All I ask is that you keep that box away from me, he pleads. The Al Ghul's leave Brainiac and his drones alone to continue their task. He turns and looks at the tank that contains the synthetic being known as Soul, before turning to check the Kryptonian meteorite restraints. One of the drones steps forward. Brainiac 1, in regards to the Kryptonian meteorite, some of us thought kryptonite might be a more efficient name for the substance, the drone states. Brainiac whirls and glares at the clone. One demerit for speaking out of turn, Brainiac 9. Return your tongue to the parts department, Brainiac orders. The drone nods and moves to cut out his own tongue. Alone once more, Brainiac leans over Kal-El's restrained body. Such a tragedy. I can see why you think you want to save these poor humans from their self-destruction. I have lived among them since 1938, so believe me when I say, once you've let yourself kill a few million of the hapless sacks of entrails, you'll see that's the sort of help these people deserve, Brainiac whispers. In his mind, Kal flies above Krypton, using his powers and soul to wipe the planet clean. Meanwhile, in their cell in the Lazarus compound, Talia lashes out and kicks Lois in the face, but Lois merely spits out a mouthful of blood. Are you bored yet, Primus? Either make a fair fight of it, or kill us and get it over with, Lois snaps. She, doesn't speak for the both of us, Jimmy points out. Talia smiles and draws her blade, promising that Lazarus will save the Earth, and a new world will be ushered into existence by her father. Would-be despots with God on their side. How original. You want to start a war between the rich and the poor. A war that nobody wins. Except the Al Ghouls, of course, Lois growls. Talia smiles at her, promising that Superman will lead the way into the future. Soon, that sweet little child of Smallville will turn this planet red, she says with a smile before turning and heading towards the exit. That will never happen. You have no idea how strong he is, Lois promises. But Talia glances over her shoulder. Believe me, I know him better than you ever will. The Father Box tells me everything. Superman has a breaking point, and once he's reached it, his final test will be to kill you both, Talia calls. Day 5. Brainiac leans over Cal's body and demands a status report. But Kal-El breaks through his mental restraints. The machines shatter around him as he sits up, a hand moving at super speed and closing around Brainiac's throat. Get out of my mind! Kal demands as his grip tightens and Brainiac's eyes begin to bulge. You cannot stop. What is happening to you, Kal-El? You said you killed millions, Kal whispers. Brainiac gently nods his head. I have, on this world and many others. And when I am done, so will you. Brainiac gasps. Cal's grip tightens. No, Brainiac, not millions. Just you, he says as he squeezes tighter. But Kal suddenly releases him. No, what am I doing? This is not who I am, Kal whispers as he stares at his hands. He turns his gaze upon the drones that stare up at him. Help me. I see the way he treats you. You're prisoners here, just like me. You deserve better. You deserve freedom. Together, Kal begins to say, but he suddenly screams in pain and grabs at his head. Shut down the program! Brainiac demands in the real world. He is leaning over the body, unsure of why Kal can't be pushed to the next stage of his mental conditioning. You're supposed to kill me, you moron! He bellows in anger. Day 12. Brainiac doesn't understand. He still can't push Kal-El further. Meanwhile, his drones step forward, demanding their freedom. Who said that? Which one of you is an ungrateful traitor? Speak up, or you'll all be labeled refuse, Brainiac demands. But the drones all begin to say that they were the ones that said it. And so, Brainiac takes a bone saw to them all. Day 14. A helicopter lands at the Greenland base, and General Lane disembarks, greeting the peacemakers who look to him as a hero. He steps through the security checkpoint, and the alarms ding. Sorry, sir, but we'll have to do a secondary security check, one of the peacemakers states as he raises his weapon. General Lane understands and takes a seat to pull off his prosthetic legs. General, I'm not seeing an appointment on our records. Why are you here again? The peacemaker asks. General Lane nods as he reaches for one of his prosthetic legs. You know how the story goes, son. The things a man will do for his family, Lane says as he pulls out a submachine gun and opens fire. Minutes later, Lois and Jimmy look up in shock as their cell door is blown off its hinges, and General Lane stands before them. He tosses his daughter a weapon. 14 guards on this floor, 2 exits. Southeast looks to be the least offended. I'll take point, Lois. You cover the rear, he orders. Lois grabs hold of Jimmy and drags him towards the door. We can't leave yet, Dad. There's someone else here, she says. Meanwhile, inside Kal-El's mind, the Peacemakers are assaulting the Kents. John and Martha shout for Kal to run, but this time, he doesn't. Soul raps out as Kal reaches out with his powers, heat pulsing out of him, burning the Peacemakers alive. With nothing but bodies all around him, he falls to his knees. Ra's al Ghul walks forward and places a hand on the young man's shoulder. Bravo, Superman. I knew you could do it. You were sent here for a reason, son. To save this planet. You can't do that without blood on your hands. You see that now, Ra's states. Kal-El glares at him and moves quickly, ripping the ruler's heart from his chest and letting him fall to the ground. Talia moves to defend her father, but Soul wraps around her throat and squeezes the life from her. In the real world, Lois kicks in the door to Brainiac's lab and shoots the sadistic alien through the chest. Get away from him, you maniac! She snaps as she pushes the body aside, but Brainiac merely smiles at her. Ha! You're too late, Lane, he gasps. General Lane takes a position by the door, snapping off rounds to keep the Peacemakers at bay. Whatever you're doing, do it fast, he shouts. Lois and Jimmy look at the equipment, unsure of how to unhook Superman from the machine. Lois turns back to her father as the gunfire suddenly stops. General Lane stumbles towards them, a blade stuck in his head. I can't feel my legs, he gasps before collapsing. Lois rushes to her father's side, firing into the doorway as Talia and the Peacemakers step inside. I want them back in their cells. Alive! Alive-ish is fine too, Talia orders. In his mind, Kal stands with the Kents on the remains of their farm. The kind elderly couple pull him close, explaining that for him to be safe in this world, he has to fight for it, has to kill for it. We're so proud of you. Just keep doing it, son. Get out there and kill them all, the Kents whisper. In the real world, Kal-El screams with anger as he snaps awake, destroying the machines around him. He moves fast, grabbing hold of Brainiac and squeezing his throat. But one of Brainiac's drones is still moving, dragging its half-destroyed body towards Soul's containment tank. Save him. Save Superman, the drone whispers as it tips the tank. The red dust begins to swirl around the room. Kal-El, no! What are you doing? Jimmy shouts. Soul swirls, knocking Talia and the Peacemakers away. Kal-El, this is Soul. I have been reactivated. I am getting us out of here. Soul says, but Kal-El's hand tightens even more around Brainiac's throat as they lift into the air, and he doesn't respond. Kal-El? Soul whispers in the complete destruction of the base. And that was the complete story for Absolute Superman issue 11 by Jason Aaron. This story is getting crazy, and I'm super excited to see what happens next. Whether Superman will go past the point of no return, or regain his senses before it's too late. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And like and subscribe to help out the channel, and get notified with new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm Dan with Comicstorian, and we will see you next time. Rest in peace, Benny.